Oh, but you were telling me a little bit about last night. It was the Hootens. What does Hooten stand for?
Honestly, I don't even really know. I think that's just their name. Just Hooten's, Arkansas. They kind of cover, like, if you go to Walmart, I'm pretty sure they have like a magazine, or like, you know what I'm saying, like a magazine that has Bentonville in it. There's Arkansas schools and stuff like that. And it kind of just gives a little rundown of each player, so it's kind of cool. But I didn't even know they had this event until I was invited to it. So
Really? Okay.
yeah,
So then you went down with Chris Ficklin last night, and you were nominated for Defensive Player of the Year for 7A.
well, I was a finalist. I didn't win, but I was a finalist. But yeah.
Okay.
And then Chris was a finalist for Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
For 7A.
Good morning. Welcome to Bentonville High School Voices. I'm Nick Smallridge. I am the assistant girls varsity coach at Bentonville High School, and I'm very excited today to be sitting here with Kameran Thornton-Mead. Kameran, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, well, Kameran was just telling us a little bit about his experience last night. Today it is literally 9:37 in the morning. I had Cam in class this morning at 7:15. He went down to Little Rock last night for the
Hooten's, Arkansas Player of the Year finalist.
Where he was nominated. He was one of the finalists for a very prestigious award here in Arkansas. And he got back at midnight last night and was in class this morning at 7:15 a.m. Very excited to get to hear his story. Cam was one of the premier players on Bentonville High School's undefeated conference team this year. This is the first time that you guys have done this since you've been here?
Since I've been here, yeah.
Since you've been here, you guys made your way to the state championship game, had a fantastic season, and so excited to get to know him a little bit and hear about his story. So Cam, we know the accolades. You know, you were a linebacker on the team, undefeated, premier defensive unit. How did you get here? Where did you start playing football? What was your experience like growing up?
So I actually I was born in Ohio, and then I stayed there for some years until like first grade. And then I moved here in second grade. I went to Rogers schools, and then went second grade through fifth grade in Rogers. And then sixth grade I moved to Barker. And that's when I started playing tackle football. I played flag football before that, but tackle football started in sixth grade. I played for a team called the Cowboys. And I actually played some of the guys that I play with now. I played against them. And I realized real quick that I wanted to be on their side, not playing against them. So then we moved to Bentonville schools. There was other reasons why we moved, but we moved to Bentonville schools, and then I started playing for Washington 7th and 8th grade year, and then I moved into high school, and that's just been my career.
So you played flag football. Did you play any other sports besides flag football up until you got to sixth grade?
I played baseball for like a year when I was 9. I mean, you know, it's like almost every kid does that. I played soccer. The last time I played soccer for like an actual team was, I think it was my either freshman or sophomore year. I played for Sporting for a weekend.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I played with the 06s, I think. I think it was like the B team though. I was just kicking around a soccer ball with my sister, and one of the coaches came up and said, "We need you on our team this weekend." And I was kind of confused because I never played really. Like I did, but it wasn't really serious. And so I played for a weekend. It was fun.
Interesting, but you had never played up until that point.
I mean, I did, but it was like when I was younger. So I think the last time I played before that was like 5th grade.
So you played like kind of like Bentonville rec kind of stuff, like rec league, or was it like
Kind of, yeah, but it was like upward.
Okay.
It was through Rogers, I think. It's like a Rogers church.
Yeah. And is that who you did flag football with?
That's who I did flag football with, yeah. And
So yeah. Okay, so you played flag football, played a little bit of soccer, no basketball, one season of baseball.
I played basketball. I forgot about that. I played basketball when I was in 5th and 6th grade, and then 7th and 8th grade I played basketball, and then freshman year I played. I actually quit though because I don't want to say why really.
That's fair. That's
but
fine.
it just had to do with like just something with the team. But yeah, I ended up quitting. But then I played Boys and Girls Club because you know you can make a team or whatever.
Sure.
So me and my friends made a team and we all played against other people we know and stuff. Like, it's kind of just more of a fun thing than it's serious.
So when did football start getting serious? It sounds like you had a lot of experience doing just a variety of things, kind of just for fun, upward, just for enjoyment. You get to sixth grade, you see how there's some players that you want to play with as opposed to against. At what point did you go, hey, this is something different. I'm different.
I would say it was like a little the end of my freshman year. Like, freshman football was serious, but it was more fun to me. Like, I mean, yeah, I took it serious, but I was also having fun with it. And then at the end of the year, on our last game, our coaches pulled me and a few other guys aside and pulled us up to JV. And I mean, it's kind of like a not really a big thing, but it's kind of cool to experience as a freshman, play JV with some of the seniors and juniors, more juniors and seniors and stuff. But so that was cool. And then after that, I was able to dress for playoffs with varsity, and then the state championship. I think I had a few snaps. I didn't have many, but.
And that was as a freshman?
That was as a freshman, yeah.
So you were able to start out as a freshman, play on the freshman team, dress out for JV, and then get some snaps on varsity in the state championship game.
Yeah, pretty much. It was
that's
pretty cool.
That's
yeah.
a big deal.
It was pretty cool. It was fun. Got to ride in a charter bus my freshman year. But, it's just those little things that kind of get you ready for when you are a senior or you are a junior and you're going to state championship. You just know how it's supposed to feel and stuff like that.
So what made you different? Like, why you? You mentioned that there were just a handful of players. What makes you a different kind of player, athlete than others?
I feel like it has to do with a few things. Natural talent. Me and the other guys had a lot of natural talent. Maybe we were more developed than some other guys and at the time. But it's probably more about, like, the depth. They bring you up to bring depth just in case, Like I said, I didn't get many reps where I got pulled up for. But, if it came down to it and there was so many people hurt and I was the next person up, that's where I would probably go in. So I think it was more for depth, but also just so we could get experience and stuff, because we also practiced with varsity. So
Gotcha.
I think it was kind of like a warm up for varsity, because freshman varsity is like completely different in my opinion. It's varsity. I don't know. You feel like you jump from I don't know, make the comparison high school to college. I don't know. It's different.
Sure.
But yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So it sounds like you had. Well, it sounds like a very humble, very modest. Just for some depth. I suspect that maybe there's more to it than that. However, you had a transition into varsity, and let's say for somebody sitting on the outside, I coach soccer. I see you guys in the fall. I see we kind of, as we're getting off the field, you're coming on. My focus is really on what we're doing. For somebody on the outside looking in, what makes Bentonville High School football different, and specifically varsity? What makes this group, this program, this team different?
This team specifically, I think it's the chemistry and just like how long we've all been playing with each other or against each other. Some of the guys, not me specifically, but some of the guys have been playing since like third and fourth grade against each other. Now I didn't move until sixth grade and started playing tackle football, but that's still a pretty long time if you think about it. Like 6th to 12th grade, that's a pretty long time to be playing with people and against people. So I think it's just the chemistry. And then for Bentonville, I think it's just the legacy, honestly, and the history. As a defensive player, like in the past, Bentonville's defense has been like dominant and just a really good part of Bentonville football. And so I think that's pretty much.
Interesting. So what kind of environment is like helps you be your best self? Like if you were thinking back to like an experience, practice, we'll focus on practice. Like what is an environment that makes you be like, yes, this helps me be my best self?
I kind of like, when people think of like football, they think of aggressive and like, for the coach's perspective, maybe aggressive on their part or loud and always yelling and stuff like that. And you need some of that, for discipline and other things. But I think what stands out to me the most and helps me the most is when I feel like I can sit down and actually, like, ask your coach a question without getting yelled at, And I think our coaches do a really good job of that because, for example, when you're in film and you need to ask a question or you kind of, like, let's say you mumble a question and they'll, like, ask you to repeat it, because they want to be able to help you. And I really think that helped me because I had a lot of questions. I was always trying to ask questions and find things out. But
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you hear this term coachable, that for me that means curious. Somebody wants to learn more. That sounds like the kind of player profile you have, the kind of person
Right,
you
yeah.
are. So you have a lot of great coaches. I mean, Coach Grant, obviously, you have Coach Cecil, Coach Washington on the defensive side, Coach Calvert. Who in 15 years' time, when you think back to your experience, is somebody who's going to stand out to you?
Say it again?
Yeah, so if you
Like
think
a
of all the
coach?
coaches you have, because you've had a lot of coaches throughout the years, specifically this year. In addition, of course, you have Coach Wharton on the freshman side and all the ones on JV. If you think back, or if you think like in 15 years' time and you look back on your experience as a high school player, which coach do you think you might think about?
Honestly, you might not believe me when I say it, but all of them really, they all had an impact on me, how I played and who I am. I could say Coach Horton to start off freshman year. I was talking about that jump from freshman to varsity, but that jump from 8th grade to freshman is also different. I think he helped with discipline a lot for that transition to varsity. And then Coach Grant and Coach Cecil, really any position coach. I did like 3 different positions. I mean, 4 really if you count running back, but I did D-line, outside linebacker, and middle linebacker. And I started my varsity career at D-line because I was coming off of an injury, and they wanted to get me on the field, and I was just kind of like quick off the edge. And so they threw me at D-line, and I think Coach Cherico, the D-line coach, helped out with the discipline and, just building you and getting you like pass rush, all the things you really need, the fundamentals and stuff like that. And then Coach Calvert, OOBs, you got to do like pass coverage as a OOB, and you got to blitz. It's like middle linebacker mixed with safety. So I think learning that and being in the film with that really helped, and hearing how he coaches helped a lot. And then, middle linebacker as well, Coach Cecil helped a lot. He's the defensive coordinator, so he is really, he wants his defense to be good,
Absolutely.
And I like that because I feel like sometimes with football nowadays, people kind of worry more about finesse than they do like actually getting down and with stuff. And I think Coach Cecil still has that in him because he played when he was in high school, so. And I'm personally a fan of like football 10 years ago because it's like a different type of football in my opinion. It's just more aggressive and stuff like that.
I think you do see kind of like ebbs and flows to different styles, and in most sports. So it's interesting. We're going to get to the game a little bit. You mentioned you played a lot of positions. This year it was primarily middle linebacker, right? Mm-hmm. But you also jumped in as running back in the Wildcat a few times, especially in the lead up to the end of the season. How do you get yourself mentally prepared for a game? Football is a very different sport in that you have only a few games a year. Mm-hmm. What is your ritual to lock in?
Honestly, I try not to do too much. Like, I try to just be as normal and as calm as possible. So if Monday through Thursday, if I'm like playing, like hanging out with my friends or like joking with my friends, I try not to change that too much because I don't want it to feel too weird or too unnormal. So I kind of just do really some of the same things, now maybe a little bit less. So I'm still kind of thinking about the game and thinking about what I need to do. But really it's just what I kind of just like play it calm and normal, I guess.
Keep things as normal as possible.
Yeah, keep things as normal as possible. Kind of like
I like that. I like that. I think each sport, every athlete has a specific, the best athletes, I think, have a mindset that they have when they step onto the field, but preparing for that mindset has to be deliberate. You guys had a phenomenal season. You've had a fantastic career. Looking towards the future, a year from now, 5 years from now, I know college football is something you're hoping to do. You've still got some options on the table. If you were to imagine yourself 1 year from now, and then maybe 5 years from now, where do you see yourself? What do you see yourself doing?
I hope playing football. Right now, recruitment is kind of slow. I have been talking to a coach that I feel like I would want to go to their school and play football for them. And then I'm also talking with, I have like many relatives that either have played or are playing at the collegiate level. So I have been talking to them and like asking about how to get prepared and what they think about me and how far they think I could go. So that's been helping, and just networking, stuff like that. So I hope that I'll be playing football. That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. Well, if you happen to be a coach watching this and you've made it through this point, hopefully you've seen the qualities that this young man possesses. And I can safely say, from my standpoint as a teacher, I mentioned at the beginning, he walks into class at 7:15 this morning, right on time, preparing for his finals after having been at a tremendously positive event last night, the Hooten's award ceremony. Didn't get back till midnight and was there. This young man has all the qualities you need for the next level. Last question for you. I saw you one day in the trainer's room. The trainer's room is where everybody hangs out. It's a nice place to kind of have some mental space. And I walked in and I saw you doing a dance one day. Do you remember this?
Oh, it's hard telling.
That's okay. No, that's okay. So you appreciate music.
Yeah.
If we were to open up your Spotify app and were to look at your playlist or the songs you have, what songs are you listening to right now, Cam?
Right now, it's not like a specific song or genre that I listen to. I listen to a lot of different, I have like a country playlist that's made of but it's more like Zach Bryan type deal or Sam Barber. It's a different type of country. But then I also got rap music. I have I guess you want to say hip hop playlist as well. And then R&B, maybe. It's just a lot of different. There's not really one type of. You would look at mine and you could give it to a group of people, and I'm sure they could all find one song that they like, because that's just like how different it is. How many variety of songs is what I'm trying to say.
I wonder if that describes you as well.
Maybe. I mean, it really depends on the day, what playlist I'm playing. Like, I'll get in my car, connect my phone, and I'll go in there and I'll be like, all right, what am I feeling today? Like this morning, I think I did like R&B. I think it was. Or
Interesting.
R&B or whatever.
R&B early. I guess that's a good way for a Tuesday morning. That's a good one for a Tuesday morning.
I guess.
Awesome, man. Well, Cam, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us and getting to hear about where you came from, a little bit about Bentonville High School, your experience as a player, and what comes next. Best of luck, Cam. Thank you so much for sitting with us today.
Yes, sir. All right.